everybody, this is Sister Omi, and I'm here to do the full moon reading in the sign, of Taurus. Now, this full moon is in Libra. So Taurus, that's like your opposite. So Libra is about balance. It's also ruled by Venus, that same as you. Now, as I said, full moon, Libra, balance has to do with relationships. But something else interesting is going to be happening on the same days. I believe it's like a 4-hour window, and we have the Aries, we have the spring equinox, which is the beginning of Aries season. So there may be some polarity of the female masculine energy, balance versus charge forward energy. So at this time, it's imperative that you think before you speak. Think before you speak. And with this full moon Libra relationships, it's going to be important to think before you speak, because we're in that relationship realm. And full moon always ignites some type of emotional ripple. So we're going to have to practice some balance. So if you're dealing in relationships and if you're going through some emotional ripples, I would strongly suggest you use that Aries energy and maybe go out and do some exercise or dance, something physical, so that you could counterbalance that energy. And so when it comes to relationship, you'll be able to compromise. It's like you got to burn some of that fire before you can come to a compromise. And during this cycle, what's interesting is for each individual, it's about understanding yourself and how you relate to others. So during this period, you're going to be dealing in relationships, and you're going to think about how you have certain triggers, what triggers you, what doesn't trigger you. There's going to be a certain awareness in that area. So Taurus, during this cycle, what are you dealing with? First card, 4 of Earth. You see that goat? That goat is standing on its square, right? All 4 feet are planted on this pedestal here. It's like you work to get to this spot and can't nobody move you. But when you look at it, it's like a little lonely. But, it doesn't have to be that way. So could be you're dealing with some control issues, or how you influence, or your status is how you view it. So you're in a position of power here, and with power comes great responsibility. So you're called upon to distribute your resources to a group or community and use fairness. Fairness in dealing with these relationships, and some of them may be getting on your nerves. So, breathe. This is about life in the sense of based on give and take. So there's going to be times in life when you feel like maybe you're giving more than usual, but rest assured, you'll eventually receive your rewards. And we got more Earth here. Whew. I kind of like the way it's depicted here, this 8 Pentacles. Let me see, can I? Yeah, that's better. 8 of Pentacles. Isn't that pretty? All that gold. So don't be afraid to hone your skills and branch out. Basically, this is what this is saying. So this is really depicting creativity. Okay, you've acquired some resources, and basically it's saying that give and take, that balance of give and take. Sometimes you may be giving more than you're getting, but at the same time, you could do so in a creative way, because you don't really want to feel that you're being, always giving and not getting something back. But the universe says you'll always get it. You will get it. But here, this is about learning new skills. So the skills here with this Libra, Aries polarity, that male, masculine, female, male, yin yang energy that we're kind of dealing with on this day and during this cycle. It's about focus, but at the same time, whatever it is that you're distributing, you could do it in a creative way that'll bring you some satisfaction too. Okay, I'll use an example. I don't know if it's a good example, but right now this is what I can come up with. You could give to this person, but they're always begging for something. And you get tired of giving to them. But then you could give something to the homeless shelter where people down there may really need it, and that could bring you some satisfaction. And that's also maybe using your resources in a creative way to give back to your community. It's really, it's not about the duality of choice. It's about using your creativity also, and there's a certain amount of satisfaction. It's like using your skills or honing your skills in a different way. Your skills and, using them in a little different way. But at the same time, with this is about learning some new skills. And the new skills could be in how you communicate, because you have all this earth here. You have 2 earth signs. So in Taurus, we know you grounded. We know that you kind of fixed. And we know people, for the most part, ain't not going to move you off your square. So for you, this may just be about communication and really how you communicate in your relationship. That is a skill. Some people are better at it. I know my son told me the other day, I make analogies that are like dry bread, where at least I could put some butter and jelly on it. So basically he's telling me I tend to be direct, where, some people are really good at buttering that bread. And to me, it really depends on what the situation. Because sometimes straight no chaser, you got to know your audience too. So, I'm sorry I had a sidebar laugh. But anyway, let's see here. Now, the message from Spirit is the King of Swords. Now, it's interesting because swords is air, intellect. It's almost like how are you thinking about things? So, with the King of Swords here, this is about your strength, your intellect, being able to discriminate. And you're very clear about your goals and what your needs and wants. So you use your strength and intelligence, and this is the King. So the King is definitely strategic and cunning before they make their move. So Taurus, you're strategic. You're gonna be using strategic and cunning, and you're going to be honing your skills in a strategic and cunning way, right? But basically, this is saying, or the message from Spirit, after a lot of wait a second. The message from Spirit here, the King, is you do not need to deal with an argument directly, one you already know you can win, but rather to redirect your efforts towards a more profitable emotional objective. And you got all this earth here. You don't have no water here. There's all earth here. So you are thinking, and you're making definitely a strategic move, and it's not based all in that emotion and gooey stuff, So this is putting your mental effort into reaching a point of security. What makes you feel secure? And it's not being based in a whole lot of emotion, because there's no emotion here. You got your feet on the ground and you are using your mind. You are thinking. You are the king mentally. The gender really has nothing to do with this, because male, female, whoever, you acting like a king right now. You're being strategic and cunning, and before you do whatever you're going to do, you mapping out your stuff. I say, do your thing, right? But just compromise. and realize and even take your own inventory and understand yourself and how you relate to others. Now, everything is in nature. And we have the moldavite crystal. And the moldavite is about metamorphosis. Isn't that beautiful? It's about the moldavite was created when a giant meteorite slammed into the earth some 11 million years ago, fusing the power of the cosmos with that of Mother Earth. And you definitely all you got is earth in this car. Earth and sky, the king of swords, that's air. So detach yourself from mundane issues. You're going through a spiritual transformation. So you are far more than a physical body. Harmony at all levels creates your well-being. And this could be used with all the chakras. So this is about metamorphosis. Okay. It's pretty much stand your ground, right? You in control, right? You in control. And you are focused and using your creativity, and you're being industrious. And you're using your strength, intellect, discrimination, strategic, cunning, because you're the king. And whatever situation in, it's going to be metamorphosed. There is definitely a change taking place. And the trees, everything, the crystals and trees tell us what's happening on the earth. And you have the magnolia tree. Isn't that beautiful? It's interesting because now we're at the beginning of spring. The flowers are getting ready to bloom. So with blooms come surprises. And here is hope, health, love, and happiness, and the promise of all that springtime brings. You strategically moving into the spring. Ow! What did it say? Holla. Okay, and we also have your root chakra, which is interesting, renewal. Because at the spring, new flowers come up. There's a sense of renewal here. So you're just getting yourself in the position for your renewal. I think this is like really so beautiful. You're in a position for renewal. Now this is the root chakra. So this is that earth. This is what makes you feel secure. And Taurus, you are earth. You got the 4 earth. You got the 8 of earth. What makes you feel secure? And basically this is just saying you get ready just for another beginning. It's here. It's a new regeneration, awakening, a new beginning. That's all this is. This is like awakening a new life. Deepen your roots, anchor yourself. What do you want to create? What do you want to create? That's going back to this. What do you want to create? Because you're standing, you on your square, you know where you're going. Or let's say you know what you got. What are you going to do with it? And whatever it is, whatever you decide, you're going to strategically plan that. And what are you planning? You're planning that metamorphosis. And what is it? Springtime brings surprises. Springtime also brings a sense of renewal. So Taurus, I really think this is really beautiful. The key word, compromise. Okay? Even if you have to strategically and cunningly make other people feel like you're compromising. You know what I'm saying? All right. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. This is Sister Omi. Peace.